Hi everybody and welcome back to F1 Manager 2022, where we're going to be going to Azerbaijan for the Baku Grand Prix. And well, last time out was interesting, wasn't it, in Monaco? 7 pit stops for Guan Yu Zhou and not going up the leaderboard. Valtteri Bottas did it in 2. If you haven't gone and seen that, go and check it out. It was interesting. Monaco continues to be the bane of my life on all F1 games, it seems. But yes, we have the Azerbaijan Grand Prix and the cars are getting there. We've got chassis number C3 on at the moment, which is very nice. 2 in the warehouse, 2 installed. Front wing number 3, only 1 in the warehouse. Ooh. We could emergency it, I think we'll be alright. Just nobody crash. Just nobody crash, alright, that's fine. Rear wing number 2, 2 in the warehouse, 2 installed. Side pods number 2, 2 in the warehouse, 2 installed. The underfloor, we do have both of that on the cars as well, number 2 and number 2. And the suspension is it's good as well. It's good as well. So in terms of what we're doing though, car part development, as you can see, current projects, we are designing a new underfloor which will be done after Azerbaijan, and we are manufacturing manufacturing one more front wing which will take 3 days anyway, which is good. We actually have 5 available engineers, so do we go and set up some sort of project here? Could do new suspension, which would help us in our low speed cornering. Side pods would be decent as well. I'm just wondering, how do we... So acceleration, we really need to improve acceleration, and actually it's our medium and high speed corners that we need to improve. So the front wing, I don't really want to do number 4. Yeah, there's not. I mean, the front wing is... I think what we're going to do then is, because we're doing the underfloor, which is going to give us good improvements as well. We're already doing that. So I think let's go into research. We're going to research no regulation chains for the front wing. Ooh. Okay. That's interesting. Can we still research it though for next year? We can. The next period's in 10 days. So let's start a research project. Let's just get a little research project going for next year's car. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We're not fussed about brake cooling, so let's put that down. We want our medium and high speed corners to be as good as they possibly can, because that's where we're struggling this season. And then if we increase our airflow sensitivity, yeah, so dirty air cornering goes up. Do you know what? I think we're just going to focus on all the cornering and just do nothing on brake cooling. Yeah, let's go for that. Let's put 5 engineers on that. Confirm that for $1 million. We'll research that for next year. We probably could have researched something a little bit better that would be relevant to the changes in the regulations, but yeah, for now we're not that bothered. Right, on to Baku. It's the race weekend. So back for qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and 100% confidence for Fernando, 97% confidence for Guan Yu Zhou. So both drivers in good. What's the word I'm looking for? Cohesion is the word I'm looking for. Good cohesion with the car. So we are going to go into qualifying 1 and get this sort of ready to go, really, because we're in a good position. Let's get Zhou out early on with whoever's going out first there. Leclerc, I think some people are going out pretty early doors. I think a few people use this track to do more than 1 flying lap at a go, because it's not the shortest. But Zhou is out. We're going to just leave a bit of a gap if we can. There we go. So Magnussen. Alonso should get some free air in front of him. Zhou is going to be right behind Norris and Leclerc, starting his fast lap. So this one we know isn't really too much of a big deal. Albon's going to get right in the way, isn't he? Although it looks like he got out of the way pretty quick. Okay, Alonso's nearly a second off Leclerc. So now what's going to happen here? Rick's going around again. Leclerc's come in. Okay, so most people did just do 1 and then come back in. So, okay, not the best of times. I think we're going to send... let's get Zhou back on those same set of tyres. I think we might send them both out again on those softs. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait until we see a gap. So let's slow this down a little bit. So actually right after Ricardo. So right now is a good time for Zhou to go. And again, then let's just jump out if we can. So next to Ocon. That's not too much of a problem because I'm expecting Ocon to come on because I think he's on a slow lap. So let's speed. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Let's speed this up so that we can get Zhou on his quick lap. And Zhou will just be starting a quick lap now, and he's going to have plenty of time to come in, change, and get a fresh set on as well. So Guan Yu Zhou starting another quick lap in qualifying 1. We're looking for green sectors all across the board, to be honest. That is what we need. He needs to improve on that time. Alonso ahead of Ocon. That looks like a genuine time, but 2/10 off Gasly isn't ideal. So Guan Yu Zhou coming down the fast streets of Baku. Lovely. It's a Grand Prix I definitely want to go to. I really, really want to go to Azerbaijan and the Baku Grand Prix. I think it would be really good fun to watch. Not many grandstands around, but I do think it would be really good fun. So Zhou, yellow sector 1. So that's not very good for Guan Yu Zhou. What can Fernando Alonso do in sector 1? I refuse to admit that Schumacher is 4 seconds off the pace in qualifying. That would be absolutely dreadful for him. Fernando Alonso is going to set a yellow sector 1 as well. So we don't need to really focus too much on this. We're going to focus on getting them in. And getting that done, to be honest. How much fuel does he have left? Oh, it should put him into ease off mode, shouldn't it? So Alonso and Zhou, neither are going to improve on this one. So Zhou is heading to the garage, as is Alonso. So Zhou comes back in, and Zhou is going to have a very quick change onto a fresh set of softs. As is Fernando, onto a fresh set of softs. Right, lower the speed. Everyone's ready to go. And here come the minions. Everybody coming out. Guan Yu Zhou in the middle of all of that. Why the hell not? Vettel, Russell, Perez, Verstappen all coming out. We're going to send Alonso out just there. We're not going to get him right at the back, but we are going to get more laps done here. So as Alonso comes round, he is going to be starting his fast lap here. Fernando Alonso coming down this really, really quick start-finish straight. This should be yellow sectors for both drivers on fresh set of soft tyres. Zhou is actually behind Vettel at the moment. Okay, it's sort of, yeah, Schumacher, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda should all go out. Albon will probably jump. Norris and Ricciardo, that McLaren has looked really slow. Sainz will definitely improve. Russell will improve. Bottas will probably improve. So it's going to be close as Fernando Alonso comes around. I just love the Baku circuit. It is brilliant. It is absolutely amazing, the Baku circuit. Just how it matches old with new. When you go through the castle section and all the old town, it's really cool. As Fernando Alonso is coming through. It's a green sector 1 for Guan Yu Zhou, which is good. That's what we need to see from both drivers, to be honest. As Fernando Alonso comes through, what can he do? What can Fernando... It's a yellow sector 1 for Fernando Alonso, so he's not improving. But Guan Yu Zhou is, at the moment, through the castle section, just in front of Fernando, as you can see. So Fernando's just coming through it there. So Guan Yu Zhou, he's going to come into the left-hander at the end of this sort of fast section, which I love driving on the F1 game down here. As you come around here, you turn a sharp left in a minute. Lots of accidents happen there. A runoff zone that a lot of people go into. And Albon doesn't improve. Sainz doesn't improve. Interesting. Double green sector for Guan Yu Zhou. A green sector for Alonso as well. So let's get into TV cam because we'll actually see both drivers cross the line one after each other. There goes Guan Yu Zhou at pace. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Already drivers behind Zhou. So Zhou is into Q2, which is awesome. There is Guan Yu Zhou and there is Fernando Alonso, who's also going to get the warning that he's running out of fuel. As Guan Yu Zhou is going to cross the line and he improves and he does get through, and Alonso improves as well. So both go through. Alonso currently in 8th, Zhou in 11th. I'm very happy with that for Q1. So K-Mag did jump above Guan Yu Zhou, but both drivers into Q2. Lovely stuff. This is becoming a bit of a common theme for Aston Martin at the moment, getting through to Q2. So we will go onto those used set of softs to start. Like so. And let's get into it. Q2. So 15 minutes in Q2 to get some laps done. We're sending both our drivers out early doors to make sure, just in case there's a safety car or anything or a yellow flag, we're going to make sure that we can get these times in. Alonso looks like he's going to have a really good free run here with absolutely no traffic. and he does go 4/10 quicker than Guan Yu Zhou. Leclerc up there, Gasly, Russell, Bottas, Verstappen goes top. Okay, so we know that we set those on old soft tyres. So getting those fresh sets on, this is where we need to make it count. So Alonso currently sitting in P7. Zhou currently sitting in P10, which is very exciting. Though Carlos Sainz, what is up with Carlos Sainz? He's got to have car troubles or engine troubles or something. He's really, really struggling. He's really struggling. Right, we're going to get... So Vettel's going out super early. We're going to send Guan Yu Zhou out with Sebastian Vettel. And we're going to send Alonso out at the... Try and get him out at the back of the pack. As here comes everyone else. Right, we're going to click in there. Hopefully... he's got out just in front of Hamilton. I was hoping he'd come out just behind him. But let's get this going then. Guan Yu Zhou. We're going to ride on board... Well, telecam with Guan Yu Zhou. To see what he can do. Because he... has got lots of space here and is currently sitting P10. We've gone with the same strategy as Vettel, which is go out early and try and set a time in all this sort of free air. So let's see what that does. Fernando Alonso hasn't even started his quick lap yet, if we have a quick look at him. So it's going to be quite the difference in ending times between Guan Yu Zhou and Fernando Alonso. But we are still riding on board Guan Yu Zhou, who still sits in P10. At the moment. So through this section here, you've got a nice tight turn left and then right through a sort of chicane up into the castle section as you come through, and it's plenty of... It's a green sector 1 for Zhou, which is good. We do need to see that obviously on the fresh soft tyres. I am expecting us to set quicker sectors. So where is Alonso? Alonso has started his final lap in Q2 as Guan Yu Zhou come in through here. Seb Vettel is so far out in front. Seb could potentially get another lap in if he wanted to. I think Seb's going to cross the line before the checkered flag drops. 50 seconds. Seb's just coming down the really quick start finish straight. But it's double green sectors for Guan Yu Zhou, which is what we want to see. As is Seb going to go and do another lap? That could be very interesting if he does. I was going to say I've noticed Hamilton's out. He's not. He's in 15th. He will improve that. As here comes Guan Yu Zhou. So far, 2 green sectors, improving on his best time. As Seb goes 1.5 off the lead. So if Zhou can find 3/10 here and he set green sectors all the way, if Zhou can find 3/10, he'll jump above Vettel, and Zhou... Oh, he goes back to 10th. 1.6 off the fastest time of Max Verstappen so far. Fernando Alonso is setting a green sector 1. What can he do in sector 2? Not too many people finishing their laps just yet. Alonso, he's got, I think that's Hamilton right behind him on the track. As Gasly is going to come across. So it's going to be, I think, Gasly's time is going to be the first one we actually see as a finishing time. And he improves just by 1/10. Bottas goes quicker than Gasly. Alonso is going to be behind... Who's going over next? Norris is going to be crossing the line next. So Lando Norris goes and doesn't get out of the bottom 5. Fernando Alonso crosses the line and improves and goes up to 6th at the moment. So Guan Yu Zhou is going out in Q2. If he can hold on to that 12th, that'll be good. Carlos Sainz, there we go. That's more like it. Jumps all the way up to 2nd. Guan Yu Zhou drops into 13th. So Fernando Alonso holding on to 9th at the moment. It's all dependent on these drivers that we're waiting to finish. And Seb is, well, we know Seb's finished. He's going to be out. Magnussen jumps into 11th. Zhou and Vettel are both out. So Alonso gets through to Q1 in 9th place at the moment. Zhou is going to be starting 13th on the grid. So Guan Yu Zhou is eliminated at 13th. I really don't mind that at all. But Fernando Alonso is still driving this car unbelievably well. I don't want to say, you know, in a horrible sense, but he is outperforming Sebastian Vettel. I know the car has improved slightly, but... Right, we're going to go for these softs, and then we're going to put on those fresh softs, which means we probably won't have any softs that are going to be brand new for the race, but we're going to do it because I want to start as high up as possible in this Grand Prix. So we're going to do a lap on these. Do I want to keep those for the race? Oh, this is a tough one. Do I want to keep a brand new set of softs for the race? No, let's go out on those softs first, and then we'll go on to brand new softs for the second lap. But we're going to go out quickly on this one in case, again, yellow flag or safety cars interrupt people's time. So yeah, we're going to get Alonso out straight away, and everyone else comes out straight after Fernando Alonso. What's everyone running here? So everyone's gone on fresh softs for this first lap. So we're doing this the other way around to what everyone else is doing, which hopefully puts it in our favour, as Alonso is down in 9th. But yeah, I don't mind that. We know he's going to come in. We know he's going to go onto his fresh set of softs, and we're going to basically get them on. And I'm sort of thinking we could go out. Do we want to go out right at the front? Do we want to give Alonso all that clean air? Yeah, look, everyone's now going on to used soft tyres. So I think we are. I think we're going to go out on 4 minutes. No, we're not. We're going to go out on 3 minutes. Oh, we're not going at the front. If anything, we're probably going towards the back. We're not. We're out. I should have gone on 4 minutes. That was always going to be my plan. And then I bottled it. So hopefully I don't bottle qualifying. Right, Fernando Alonso. Here we go. On board with Fernando Alonso for his final lap in Q3 of the Baku, Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Currently sitting in P9. Let's have a look to see if anyone is setting good sectors across this lap. So behind us, I think, is Bottas. I think. Let's quickly jump into the minimap. So we've got Bottas and Leclerc are the only drivers behind us on track for this one. So we'll have to watch them. Verstappen, purple, sector 1. Hamilton improves in his sector 1 time. Who else? Perez doesn't improve. Sainz doesn't improve. Gasly, Russell don't improve. Ocon does improve, setting a quicker sector 1 time. But Alonso improves as well. That is what we need to see on these fresh softs, Fernando. Come on. Bottas doesn't improve. Leclerc does improve his sector 1. So this is going to be very, very interesting here. We do have one person that started very early on. Is that Max Verstappen all out in front on his own? I think it is. Max Verstappen is looking like he's going to get pole position in Azerbaijan. As what have we got here? Sainz not improving at all. Hamilton not improving in the second sector. Verstappen not improving. Russell not improving either. But Verstappen is going to cross the line. And he is obviously going to be provisional pole because he's so far out in front at the moment that, again, he could potentially set another lap if he wants to, but I don't think he's going to. It's double green sectors for Alonso. So far, the only person on track to set double green sectors. Leclerc can't match it either, so he's not going to start. Hamilton crosses the line 6th. Sainz in 4th. Let's jump on board with Fernando Alonso, who's coming in. Russell doesn't improve. Can Fernando Alonso jump up in this Grand Prix? Can he jump at all? He's set a fastest lap so far. Ocon doesn't improve. Alonso doesn't improve. It is a quicker time. It's his quickest lap, but he doesn't improve. It's a 1:43.0. Hang on, that's quicker than George Russell. Oh, the last lap. No, I don't want to look at the last lap. You want to look at the best lap, don't you? So there we go. So where's the leader one? I was getting confused then. So we're 1.1 off the pole position pace of Max Verstappen. We're not too far off George Russell. It's less than a 10th, and it's pretty close all around there. So Fernando Alonso is going to be starting in 9th, which I really don't mind. So Fernando Alonso in 9th, Guan Yu Zhou starting in 13th. We've put ourselves in pretty good position here. And now the fun bit, right? Strategy. Here we go. Right. What are they saying about expected strategies on here? Reports, circuit info, expected strategies. Medium to hards, soft to hards, or medium, hard, soft if you're doing a 2-stop. So obviously that makes sense to do the 1-stop, I imagine, which is this. You can get onto the hards a little bit easier. Does that mean you can push the mediums? No, it doesn't, unless you push or you pit really early. Push the mediums slightly. I mean, there's such a high chance of a safety car. I think you start on this and mix it up. I'm just wondering if we've got... Do we start on the softs? I think we might go for that, you know. I think we might start on the softs. I think, no. I think for Alonso, we're in a good starting position here. So I think for Alonso, we play it sensibly. And we sort of push the mediums, take the hards all the way to the end and basically match everyone else's strategy. We may even just play it very conservatively and do something. Can we drag... If you drag the mediums out? No, they don't work either. So, lap 23, Fernando just goes sensible. Guan Yu Zhou, we're going to take a bit more of a risk with Guan Yu Zhou. So, what we're going to do is go soft to hards. And we're going to bring the hards like that. Oh, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough getting those to the end, but we're going to bank on a safety car for Guan Yu Zhou. That's what we're going to bank on there. So strategy B onto the softs. Obviously, though, I know it goes against our strategy during this, but we are going to try and eke these out. Again, we're going to play for a safety car. We'll underfuel the car, get it a bit lighter in there. Right, well, that was quick, wasn't it? Probably the quickest strategy we've ever done. So as to be expected, bright sunshine in Azerbaijan, and it's 5 lights, and we're away. And what can we do here? On board with Fernando Alonso. We could go on board with Zhou, actually, because we'll get a bit of the action in front with Fernando Alonso, who looks like he's battling early on, to be honest. What sort of strategies have we got here? We've got a few soft runners, most people on the mediums, which I will expect means mediums to hard is probably what we're going to go for. It's like 3 wide up front. You can see Alonso in the middle. Zhou does overtake Magnussen. Alonso hasn't managed to gain a spot yet. Zhou's also getting in on Sebastian Vettel. He's going to have the inside here, Guan Yu Zhou. Can he make this one stick on Seb as well? He can. So early doors. Let's... Oh, is he going to make it stick, or is Seb going to squeeze him? I think he's all going to be all right. So we'll drop these down to aggressive. Guan Yu Zhou up into 11th and now going for the Alpine of Esteban Ocon as well. Fernando Alonso having a bit of a battle up there. He's trying to chase down George Russell. He's got George Russell. He's now trying to chase down Pierre Gasly into the castle section. As Guan Yu Zhou having a good race so far on this first lap. Fernando Alonso sitting nicely behind Pierre Gasly, and I really don't mind any of this at all. We may actually get Fernando Alonso to just drop down. If he can get past Gasly and then try and get on the back of Hamilton, that's when we'll just ease him off his pace and his ERS deployment. And Zhou's sort of similar. If we can get Zhou past Ocon into the top 10, then I'm happy to take his pace off a little bit, to be honest. But he's going around the... Oh, he's looking around the outside of Ocon, potentially going for a switchback there. Is he going to have the pace now as he deploys, coming off the back of the corner? It looks like it's a pretty even straight line speed battle here between Esteban Ocon and Guan Yu Zhou. Get that slipstream, see if that helps. Sit behind Esteban Ocon Alpine. How's Alonso doing? He's still sitting behind Pierre Gasly, although he has pulled out to maybe make a move on the outside at turn 1 here. Fernando Alonso, can he get it done as we start lap 2? He's got a little bit better under braking than Pierre Gasly, but Gasly just about holds on. But there we go. Fernando Alonso, I think, is going to get this move done. Pierre Gasly's on the inside, and Fernando is pushing past, and we can bring his tyres back into play. We'll keep him on deploy so he gets right up behind Hamilton for now. As Guan Yu Zhou has got past Esteban Ocon and is now trying to take George Russell on those softer tyres. I think he's going to get that one done as well, and he does. We can keep you on aggressive because that is your strategy, but I'm very happy with where you are sitting there, Guan Yu Zhou. So you can drop into neutral and hang on the back of Gasly. Alonso up into 7th on the back of Hamilton. Again, we can just make these guys drop back down into everything they need to do now and go from there. So Bottas and Hamilton got into a massive fight, and Alonso is now up into 5th and Zhou is up to 8th. DRS is open, and I feel like if we can push Fernando to try and get up to Leclerc and Sainz who are battling, that would be huge. Zhou is hanging on the back of Lewis Hamilton very, very well indeed. But yeah, Bottas and Hamilton having a fight, and Fernando Alonso saw his opportunity and got both of them. So Bottas has just overtaken Alonso in the DRS section, and Alonso is struggling to keep pace with the Ferrari. So we've just asked him to ease off and make sure he can conserve. Doesn't push too hard on the tyres and the fuel. There's no point in trying to catch those Ferraris just yet. But yeah, Bottas gets through, but it does mean we're now going to have DRS on the back of Bottas, so there's probably going to be a little bit of changing going on there. And Zhou is just nicely hanging on the back of this little battle that we've got in front with Alonso. So all in all, it's both drivers doing very, very well at the moment. And at the same time that Zhou overtakes Hamilton, having the inside track here, Alonso actually gets past right on this straight. Zhou gets past Hamilton, and Alonso gets past Bottas as well. So the Aston Martin's driving very, very well. And Zhou, on those soft tyres, has just gained 2 places with one move here. As you can see, he's challenging Bottas and Alonso. And Guan Yu Zhou, fearless, absolutely fearless coming down to this corner, gets past both of them, brakes in time. And now Guan Yu Zhou is in front of Fernando Alonso. Can we use these two to pull away? Right, so we've got to plan this now, because we've got Zhou and Alonso. And I'm wondering if Zhou pushes, can he pull Alonso along? Like if Zhou goes on to deploy, let's see if it takes Alonso with him. Do we want to do that, or do we just want to get... Because we want Zhou to pull away, but also Alonso to pull away with him. So if we make sure that Alonso's right up behind him, we could be in a good position. Because if we can break that 1 second and use these two to DRS each other along, that would be absolutely massive. We're nearly breaking that 1 second. So I think we deploy Zhou here, because Fernando Alonso will get the DRS. I know Bottas will as well. But, yeah, we need to... Because Zhou is dropping Alonso on the quicker tyre. If he's out in front, let's put him onto standard just for a little bit. So Alonso has the DRS and he is catching up. Right, that's what we wanted. That is what we wanted. So Zhou pulls Alonso along and hopefully we leave Bottas for dead. This is working as expected so far. So come on, Zhou, you pull us along. But what we want to do is, I was going to say don't overtake, but he's gone for it anyway. So we'll put that onto neutral. And we'll say, right, so Zhou now. So Alonso deploys. And you say, don't fight teammate. And then you both get pulled along, hopefully. Hopefully you both get pulled along. That's the plan. Okay, we're actually going to switch this up. Because Alonso killed his battery, we're going to get Zhou on the quicker tyres in front of him. Hopefully we can do this without Bottas getting through as well. So don't fight your teammate. Let him go. Let Guan Yu Zhou go. Hopefully. And Bottas doesn't... Bottas is a bit too far back, I think, to make this happen. And then what we do is we get Zhou to deploy. And we get Alonso to now be pulled along, hopefully. Because I know there is another DRS zone coming up. So Alonso needs to stay on the back of Zhou. We just need to make sure that happens. Bottas has pulled up closer, but I feel like Alonso and Zhou should be able to make this work. Because we tell Alonso, don't fight your teammate. It says it there, don't fight your teammate. Bloody hell. Just let Guan Yu Zhou pull you along. Let Guan Yu Zhou pull you along. That's all we need to do. Because Bottas is now right here and... Come on, Zhou. Right, we're going to need you to have a bit more pace, I think. Guan Yu Zhou. Okay, we've scrapped that. We're going to let them race. We're just going to let them race and see how they get on. I think Guan Yu Zhou is pulling out these tyres again really, really well. The young drivers. You just see Bottas go through in the background there. Yeah, I think we can get quite a lot of life out of these soft tyres. I think Guan Yu Zhou may be on for a one-stop starting on the soft. So, we are now both sitting behind Bottas. He's got both of us there. But we can use that as an opportunity to potentially harvest and get some of that energy back in. But I don't mind that. We'll take him back on the next DRS slot. Probably both of us on the start-finish straight will overtake him, so that's not an issue. Danny Ricciardo spun on turn 10. We do both have DRS here, but we're both really struggling to keep up with that Alfa Romeo. I think Zhou's tyres are probably starting to go off a little bit. Alonso should have quite a lot of life. We've entered the pit window again for Zhou, but he's still on 57% tyres, so I don't really think we need to worry about that. We could make it... Right, let's make sure Fernando gets right on the back up here. Pop that back into neutral, right, and we can harvest up for both drivers around this section, I think. We've still got Hamilton right on our tail. We're sort of in a little gap of our own here. 9 seconds out to the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. And we've got nearly 1.5 seconds to Gasly behind Hamilton. So we're not in a terrible position at the moment as drivers. And up into 6th and 7th, you can't moan about that. Okay, we've got a virtual safety car. I've paused it as soon as it popped up. Somebody span. But I think we could use this opportunity to get Guan Yu Zhou in. Let's have a look. I know he's done really well on those tyres. If we get him in now onto the hards, which is only 1 lap early, he's going to struggle to get them to the end. Do we get him on to mediums instead? Push some mediums and then go on to the hards? Or do we go hards and then... No, I think we come out of that. I do think we pit him. We're going to pit him now for hards. Guan Yu Zhou. What am I doing? Come out of that. I think Alonso, we keep Alonso out. I'm just wondering with Alonso if we just go on to some softs now. Do we bring Alonso on early onto those hards as well? No, they're right next to each other. I don't think we want to double stack. I think bringing in Guan Yu Zhou makes sense because his pit window's coming up. So pit for hards on this lap. And we'll see how he does. So ignore... I'm very tempted to bring Alonso in. We're matching the tyre wear of everyone else. Perez will have to pit. Zhou we're bringing in to go onto the hards now. I mean, we could risk it, but I think there's not... We might as well stick with what we're doing. I don't think any of the leaders are coming in to come off their strategies. No, but... Oh, Sainz has crashed. Oh, my word. He's ahead of us. That's huge. Has he done that under the... Those Sainz... Oh, he loses the back end. It's not a huge crash. So, yeah, I think Sainz is going to be okay. We can use this as an opportunity to conserve some fuel, though, and get that back in line to where it needs to be. Yeah, full safety car would have been massive. So Zhou comes into the pits then, under the virtual safety car. So he will lose a number of positions here. Let's go into the TV view, because it's always fun to watch that. So he's going to lose positions, but he's going to come out on those hard tyres and have done his pit stop. And he's got those soft tyres really done really well. Norris in, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, so lots of people coming into pit as well. And I think what we need to do with Zhou there is just go straight away onto conserving his tyres. Not conserving, but not pushing. So yeah, keep on standard. We'll keep the fuel, trying to get that in line as well. He is 6 seconds off the back of people, and it's ending soon. So we'll jump back on board with Alonso. He's 1.8 seconds off Bottas, so he's going to have to put in a bit of pace to catch up there. We can probably harvest for this last little bit. He's got Hamilton right on his behind as well. So DRS is now enabled again. So we're going to get deploy. Oh, it looked like Hamilton was about to hit Alonso there. So DRS enabled straight away after that. Yeah, let's see how Zhou does with that very early pit stop. Oh, we've got a full safety car. Alonso just re-overtook Hamilton, but we have a full-on safety car. Now, this is huge because this is going to concertina everyone up. Alonso's on 59% tyre wear, and he can get the hards to the end. I feel like you have to pit under safety car, right? I feel like you have to bring the safety car in. When it's there, you have to pit because it's so much quicker. You lose such less time. So Alonso's going to come in. Zhou is going to stay out, and he's going to be conserving those hard tyres now, which is awesome. So, Alonso was right there as well. That is amazing stuff from Fernando. So Hulkenberg's crashed. He's out of the race. Poor old Nico. Sticking with tradition. Ocon's coming in as well. Vettel's coming in. So Fernando Alonso got a single yellow flag apparently, although it's a full safety car, which doesn't really make sense. So Fernando Alonso's in. It's a decent stop, and he gets away pretty quick as well. And he's only going to slip down to potentially here 11th, which is very good. And we're going to keep on conserving the tyres, which gives him a little bit more life. And then Perez still out on 38%. Wow, 38% softs. That is impressive from Carlos Perez. Carlos Perez? Checo Perez. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, let's let everyone catch up with the safety car. Okay, so the safety car will be coming in pretty soon. We've done okay on fuel. We're going to go back onto standard with the hard tyres. We are going to deploy, though, and try and get that extra bit of push from the battery at the start of this race. So only really... Perez did come in. He came back out in 4th. But Bottas, Hamilton, Gasly, Russell, Magnussen and Albon all stayed out. So we should jump those positions when those guys come into pit. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting restart. Let's jump on board with... Fernando Alonso's down. So Zhou's now 12th. We've got them right next to each other again. So I'm hoping we can be in a good position. Let's watch from Zhou. We very rarely watch from Zhou's point of view. And he is just behind Fernando Alonso. So the race will be starting soon. Trying to get a bit of temperature into the tyres. We've got the deploy on so that when this goes, we can just... So the safety car is there. And that's not quite gone in yet. But you can see everyone's just waiting to see when this is going to go. So Verstappen is leading the race. I'm just wondering if we jump on board from the back of Verstappen could be quite cool. Is the safety car is ending, and is Verstappen going to put his foot down? So, or you can see Leclerc and Sainz bunching up looking for a move. Normal racing conditions resume, and Max Verstappen is trying to now pull away, and he's done a really good job of the restart there, Max Verstappen. Let's jump on board with Guan Yu Zhou, who is battling with his teammate Fernando Alonso off the restart. What can we do here? Guan Yu Zhou, nothing silly. Don't take Alonso out of it. You're both in good positions for points at the end of this one at the moment. We're both in good position for points, as you get this concertina effect round Baku now, where everyone just sort of holds everyone else up. They are on the medium tyres, so they may still pull away if their degradation isn't too bad. But yeah, I feel like we're in a decent position since that safety car. Hopefully it all unfolds how I think it will. So as we come to the end of the first lap since the safety car, Fernando Alonso has just got past Alexander Albon in front, and we need to get Zhou past him as well. So hopefully we can get both of our drivers past that AlphaTauri and up into 10th and 11th, which would be awesome because we are losing pace to the runners in front on their medium tyres. Albon really sticking behind Fernando Alonso, which is a little bit of a concern because Albon has not got the best record in terms of avoiding accidents. But 30 laps to go in this one, and we're in good shape here. As we just need Zhou to get past Albon, because then we're jumping a medium runner before he's even pitted. So I do like the sound of that one for sure, as Zhou trying to get it work. He's going around the outside at the moment. We know he'll get him as soon as DRS opens up, but I'd like to get the move done before then so we can keep pace with Fernando Alonso. As yeah, the overtake failed. We saw that one. We saw that one happen. Okay, DRS is enabled and loads of people are now pitting. So Fernando Alonso, we're just going to basically get him to put in a cracker of a lap now, hopefully. He's up into 4th place with everyone pitting. He's up into 4th. I'm very intrigued to know what everyone's going to come out in. So Verstappen is coming out on hard. So it is a one-stop strategy for Verstappen. I think it's going to be one stop for most people. Hamilton, hards. Sainz, hards. Gasly, hards. Yeah, so pitting early with Alonso could be very, very good here. We just need to get on the back of George Russell. Guan Yu Zhou up into 5th as well. So Zhou really needs to push as well to make sure that he can get on the back of Fernando Alonso, because we need to get DRS happening here. We really need to make it happen. Albon hasn't pitted but has been overtaken by Guan Yu Zhou. So Alonso has gained on George Russell and is in DRS as well. And I think we're going to use this as an opportunity. While he's on the mediums, I feel like it's Perez did the same as us. He pitted under safety car and now look at him flying out in front. So we're in a good position. Zhou has just got caught by Ocon. Not too worried about that. But I think we can sit behind George Russell, just because Russell's probably going to come in this lap. We've got a 2-second gap to Ocon behind us. If we can conserve everything we need to and then just see this through to the end, we're going to be in a great potential position at the end of this race. Okay, so George Russell has now pitted, so we're going to go back onto sort of pushing a little bit with everything. And you can see how close it is behind us. So Zhou has now caught up into the DRS train, which is good. But we have 11 seconds to Perez in front. So Perez is well out in front and is going to have a good opportunity to basically win this race. But we need Alonso to break this time to Esteban Ocon so that he's not under too much pressure. Or we need Guan Yu Zhou to battle him a little bit harder and potentially get that place back. So let's go for that option as well. And that is exactly what has happened. So Alonso's pulled away, got out of DRS, and Guan Yu Zhou has overtaken Esteban Ocon. So that should allow us to have just a little bit of a DRS battle here and allow Alonso to pull away in the clean air. That's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, so Alonso managing his race really well. 1.2 seconds ahead of Ocon, but Verstappen is absolutely charging through the field. And Zhou struggling a little bit, dropped down to 6th. He got caught by Ocon, which then meant Vettel got in. Verstappen then came through, and Vettel now struggling to hang on the back of Max Verstappen. Leclerc is in a very quick car as well, so he's probably going to catch him soon enough. But Alonso, still sitting in 2nd, doesn't have Ocon on his DRS. I don't think it's going to be long till Verstappen catches him up, but not that many races left, laps left to go in this one, and both drivers are managing their tyres well. We could ask Zhou potentially just to increase his push a little bit, and as long as he stays in the DRS of SEB, he's in an okay spot. Okay, we have a virtual safety car again, which is going to help us with tyres and all that good stuff. Now, I don't know if there's still a bug under virtual safety car where people can catch you. They don't keep the same delta. Verstappen's going to overtake us in this race with Alonso, so he's right there. So I'm not fussed if he gets past. We've then just got to stay on his DRS to allow us to get some of this stuff back in range. So the VSC is out, which will allow us to hopefully get our fuel back in line.
Virtual safety car.
I don't know if it's worth... We'll ignore. Is it worth pitting here? We're in such a good position though. No, I think we don't pit. I think if it's later on you pit onto the softs. But I think for now, I'm just... How far is Alonso ahead? If we just went to Alonso's strategy and went adding a new stint onto mediums, and the mediums are a quicker tyre, if we did that for now and then just went back in here, pit options onto the mediums, pit positions 14th, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So, yeah, we'll cancel that. Go back into the strategy. It's definitely not worth coming out that far behind at the moment. So, delete that stint. Stay on the hards. And we'll go from there. Virtual safety car. Ooh, it was Charles Leclerc. So, both Ferraris have crashed in this race. Charles Leclerc on turn 2. Having a little incident. Just tries to take it in. Again, the back end goes. And it was the same as Carlos Sainz on a different corner. The back end really goes. So, yeah. I mean... There's obviously not the same delta there, is there? So, because Verstappen is now right on our tail, but I don't mind. So we've got our fuel back in range. We need to do it with Zhou as well. We're going to keep harvesting because we're going to hang on the back of Verstappen, hopefully. Okay, so the virtual safety car is ending soon, so we're just going to put all of our ERS back onto neutral. Verstappen is right behind us, so as soon as he goes past us, we'll just try and hang on for as much as we can onto his DRS. Both fuels back in range, which is awesome. Zhou up in 6th. He's still got a 4-second gap to Norris behind him. DRS is now enabled, so the race is back underway, and I'm expecting Verstappen to breeze past us pretty quickly here. Even if it's... Look at the pace he's got, man. Look at the pace. We've got the same power unit in a car. Aston Martin Red Bull and Red Bull. But, yeah, he's absolutely blitzed him. What we need him to do is put a big gap between himself and Ocon and then overtake us and pull us along. But I think he's going to absolutely blitz past us on this DRS straight coming up after this corner. And that's going to cause a few little issues. It's going to be difficult here. It's going to be difficult. So I think we're going to have to deploy just so that we can try... Okay, he's not... Well, he's not... He's got his DRS open. Ocon is gaining, and that's the only bit of news there, to be honest. Maybe we just let Fernando manage this, I guess. Or do we try and let... I think we try and let Verstappen through. Because he's just going to... They're both going to overtake us on the DRS zone. If we can let Verstappen get through before that DRS zone...
Back off.
If Verstappen can somehow get through so that we get DRS, like this. If Verstappen can make a move somewhere here, I really don't mind. That's it. There we go. Let Verstappen go. Hopefully we don't lose the place to Ocon as well, which we don't. And now we sit on the back of Verstappen's DRS. Now we sit on the back of Verstappen's DRS. That's our plan here. That's our plan. Pull away from Ocon due to Verstappen. Okay, so Verstappen is in an absolute rocket ship. His car is so fast, it's unreal. He's put a second between us now already, and we have been hanging on as close as we can to him. We're deploying to try and get back in that 1 second before this DRS section, but I don't think we're going to do it. It's just, he is so quick. He is so quick. Like bonkers quick. Yeah, ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. We're not catching him, so let's leave that into neutral. Ocon will probably take us on the DRS straight, and then we're in a battle with Ocon for 3rd. So Ocon has now got past us. So again, now it's a case of just hanging on the back of Esteban Ocon. They are on, well, he's not on slightly fresher tyres, so he must have been pushing a little bit. But Vettel's got 2.5 seconds. Zhou is 6 seconds off. Sainz has caught Zhou, so he's probably going to be dropping down to 7th. But that's still good. Zhou's had a good race. He's had a very good race so far. We just need to make sure we keep toe with Esteban Ocon here, and when it gets to the final few laps, that's when we pounce. In fact, what happened is we had the perfect DRS over Alonso, and we're going to try and put a second between us. We're pushing to see if we can get an extra gap between us and Esteban Ocon now, as Sainz does overtake Guan Yu Zhou, so hopefully Guan Yu Zhou can sit on the back of Carlos Sainz for a little bit. You've got a little bit of tyre wear to use as well. Both drivers have got a bit of fuel, and there we go. We've put over a second between us and Esteban Ocon, so he's not going to have DRS anymore, and we can push these as much as we can to make that gap bigger. Okay, Fernando, with 11 laps to go, has done a fantastic job. He's put 2.2 seconds between him and Ocon, and he's harvested up loads. So after this lap, we're just going to deploy and extend that gap to Ocon again. Zhou is dropping, Bottas is catching him, but I think Zhou's doing a really good race. I think Zhou's had a really good race so far. Both drivers have a bit of the tyre left in their life as well. Some other people came into pit again, and they've really dropped off the pace now. So all in all, looking good for Aston Martin so far. As you can see, Ocon bringing it back to just about 2 seconds. So I think we're going to put this back into neutral. And then next lap, we're going to deploy and extend that gap again. Yeah, it's worked wonderfully well as well. 4 seconds now, the gap. So really good stuff there. Bottas really is catching up on Zhou. So I'm wondering if Zhou's struggling a little bit with his tyres. He shouldn't be. He should have plenty to give. Bottas just showing a bit of class. But Gasly's 6 seconds back. Not many laps to go. In a great position with Fernando for third. He could be getting a podium here if he makes this work. I'm just wondering, do we push Zhou on the fuel a little bit as well? Alonso, I don't really want to mess anything up. He's having such a good race at the moment. We could even conserve some of his tyres a bit more, I think, as well, and make that stick. So just since we've stopped pushing the tyres, Esteban Ocon's come a little bit closer. So we're going to try and up the pace on the tyres again. I think that's the right thing to do. Looking at the tyre wear, both drivers are fine at the moment. I think it might be a bit touch and go for Zhou at the end. But he's in a battle with Bottas. And again, if Bottas gets past him, it's not that much of a big deal. Because we'll just hang on the back of Bottas's DRS, hopefully. Hopefully he can keep up with him. In fact, let's... Yeah, I don't mind that. Zhou didn't start in the points. He's currently in the points. He got those soft tyres at the beginning into a really good stint. Alonso 4 seconds ahead of Ocon, so I feel like we can focus on Zhou for a little bit more. Yeah, so Bottas has overtaken Zhou, so I think Zhou should be able to hang on the back of Bottas now. There's no reason why Zhou shouldn't be able to keep pace with him and get on the DRS. I mean, he is already losing out on some time, which is a concern. Gasly's nearly 4 seconds away, so I think Gasly may catch him as well. We've got Sainz making his way up through the group, but he's quite a bit of time off Vettel and Ocon. My worry would be that Sainz brings Ocon along with him in DRS. I think Zhou isn't going to get DRS here, and that could be an absolute nightmare for Guan Yu Zhou, because he really needs to stay on the back of Bottas as long as he could, but he's not. 6 laps to go. He hasn't managed to stay on the back of him. I think Guan Yu Zhou, we just make sure he brings this home now. Yeah, Guan Yu Zhou having a bit of a tough time of it now. Hamilton getting past him as well. I think his 38% tyres are really being affected. Gasly is right on his tail, and Russell's right behind. Zhou may fall out of the points here. Zhou may fall out of the points, although Zhou is going to get Hamilton back with DRS. So if we stay in this DRS train, I'm happy with that. Alonso cruising out 3.7 seconds ahead of Ocon. Okay, we're on the last lap, and Carlos Sainz is right on the tail here of Fernando Alonso, so he is going to have to do everything he can to hold Carlos Sainz off, and it's going to be very, very tough for him. Zhou hanging on to 10th place at the moment. Again, he's going to have to push absolutely everything to do what he can. I'm tempted that we go attack on the tyres for Alonso as well. Maximum pace on the last lap. That is what we need, as Carlos Sainz is right there, and you've got to think that the next DRS zone is probably going to get him. Guan Yu Zhou, can he hold off George Russell on the last lap for a double points finish? Not sure he's going to be able to do it, but I feel like Alonso, right, sit behind him on the last DRS bit. I don't know if we're going to get enough time on that last DRS train. I don't think it, well, you can. Danny Rick did it in the Grand Prix once, but Alonso's driven so well, but that Ferrari is just so strong. Ferrari and Red Bulls are so far ahead of everyone else in terms of what they can do. And Leclerc has come out of nowhere to get Guan Yu Zhou now. Oh no, gutting for Guan Yu Zhou. Fernando Alonso still hanging on the back of Carlos Sainz. What can he do to get through here? I mean, I don't know if we're going to get that DRS. Alonso looks like he's going to get at minimum 4th, which is really, really good. But is he going to make something work here? I don't think he's going to have enough to get that done. So Max Verstappen, no, Sergio Perez wins it. Max Verstappen's going to be in 2nd. It looks like Carlos Sainz is going to get 3rd. It's going to be very, very close. as we come round.
Copy.
Let's get into the TV view. Does Fernando Alonso have enough to catch Carlos Sainz
Okay, copy.
in this DRS zone? We just need to see that go green as quickly as possible. I don't think he's going to have enough. I don't think he's going to have enough, Fernando Alonso. It's going to be Carlos Sainz coming home in third to take a podium for Ferrari. And Zhou's locked up. Zhou's locked up on the last lap.
This was the Aston Martin.
Oh, Zhou. It's literally into like the second to last corner. Oh, Guan Yu Zhou. He's going to get 12th. Alonso gets 4th.
That's checker flag.
Zhou, I mean, we get a big bonus if both drivers finish 12th. So, Guan Yu Zhou, let's just nurse him home.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Brilliant stuff from Fernando Alonso. Guan Yu Zhou is going to finish in 12th, and it could have been 10th.
Copy that.
Oh, he locked up on the last lap. Unlucky. He's put in a great race. He's put in a really good race, and both Aston Martin drivers can be very proud of their performance. So unfortunately, it's not a double point finish, but Fernando Alonso does climb 5 places to finish 4th. Guan Yu Zhou finishes 1 place above. He dragged those soft tyres out at the beginning so well. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of both drivers. 12 points for Alonso. What a drive he had there. Fernando Alonso climbs to 8th in the drivers' championship. Guan Yu Zhou drops 2 places, but he won't be worried about that. We climb 1 place into 5th. Whee! Jumping AlphaTauri. And jumping them quite considerably as well. And closing the gap to Alfa Romeo, now only down to 6 points. So a decent race in Azerbaijan. Next up is Canada, one of my favourite circuits. I think I said that last time as well. I really like Canada. We do have a point, I think, for Drugovich. Yes, we do. So Drugovich, let's get his accuracy up to 70 for now. We also have one for Guan Yu Zhou. We're going to put that into his accuracy as well. Fernando Alonso doesn't have one. What I haven't checked is, do we have... Yes, development points here as well. So chassis needs a big boost for Koenig. Aerodynamics, we can get a boost in high-speed downforce. Race engineer, no, but Ben Mitchell does have one. So we'll put that into feedback for him. Lovely, lovely stuff. Right, we'll be back for the next race, which will be Canada. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.